Hey there humans, Garrison here, and I am so excited that I decided to make this YouTube channel. I've been chewing on this idea of what makes people fail. Why do people make these commitments that they don't end up following through with? My goal in expressing this idea is to hopefully get people to think more about what they can do to change a situation after they've already fallen short. From what I see, people seem to cling on to things because they don't want to admit that they did something wrong, or they just don't want to confront it. And in turn, there's two different ways that people cling on to things. The first type of clinging is a shield of labels and reasons why the person ends up justifying the action that they took. Something like, I'm an introvert. It must be because I'm a Gemini. I'm not a morning person. Oh, I just don't like confrontation. While each of these statements have some kernel of truth, if people don't dig deeper, then they probably will miss the entire lesson. And there's a lesson with every failure. For instance, I have constantly used the introvert card to justify reasons why I avoided confrontation. And while it is an important factor to consider that being around people is emotionally and physically draining for me, and I have a tendency to stay silent in certain situations, even though I have something to say, the reality of the situation is that there are plenty of people that relate to being an introvert, but they still confront people when an issue rears its ugly head. But all the reasons in the world still don't get to the root of the problem unless if you address the action that was taken. That's where the second part of clinging comes in that is especially important to address if you want to learn from this failure. This is based on the action that was taken that caused the person to fall short. It could be any number of things, such as binge watching on Netflix, staring at the ceiling, or something substance related. There's an important distinction to be had here between what counts as relaxation, because self-care is so necessary, and what counts as wasted energy. And this may take some time to figure out, but there is a distinction that I found where there are certain activities that I do for fun and enjoyment, and there's other activities that I do simply to distract myself from my own reality. And we're all guilty of this to some extent because life isn't always meant to be enjoyable, and that's okay. But understanding how to address failure, which is an inevitable part of everyone's life, is important to consider if we don't want to keep making the same mistakes. So in summary, keep doing the things that matter to you, and when a plan falls short or you have to face a conflict, face it head on. You'll be so glad that you did it in the end, no matter how uncomfortable it is, and it's gonna be uncomfortable, but that's okay. It's better to get rid of the uncomfortable stuff first so that you can sleep peacefully at night. But that is all that I have to say this week. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I will see you next week.